Hello, my name is Gemma. I'm the Artistic Director of the Paper Birds Theatre Company, and I wanted to say hello and introduce myself, but also to tell you a bit about why we have made the School of Hope. So I remember the exact moment that this all began. It was when I saw a photo back in probably 2015. This picture stopped me in my tracks. It was of a small boy, a 3-year-old. He was lying on a beach and the water was lapping at him, but he wasn't moving. He had drowned and his body had been washed up. I had been aware of the Syrian civil war, and I knew that refugees of this war were trying to escape. But when I saw that picture back in 2015, I stopped. I felt grief for this boy that I'd never met and outrage for his parents. And I looked up back at the world around me and I just couldn't understand how everything was carrying on. Like hundreds of thousands of people around the world were seeing this image, and then they were going about their day, like having a coffee and going to work and walking their dog. And it made me really start to think about empathy, about this emotion that we use to try to connect with other people and the things that they're going through. Can you think of a time when you really felt for someone else?
The School of Hope is a multi-artform digital project led by the Paper Birds Theatre Company, and it's about empathy, and it's for young creatives aged 13 to 25 to take part in, and they go through a programme of 5 digital workshops, starting looking at the individual, at the self, looking inwards, reflecting, and then moving on to look at family, community, society, and finally their place in our world today. We worked with our 9 partners to select some really fabulous, really exciting UK-based artists, and each of them were commissioned to create a really gorgeous filmic digital artwork that would sit at the heart of each of the 5 workshops.
Empathy is often confused with sympathy.
Poor you. That's how I have to be. It's how I have learnt to be. This protective cloak I spread all over me. Sometimes I don't.
Photos of aunties and uncles and grandparents who you love, and that grandma who told rude jokes which made you blush.
I pray we see whatever we're going through, there's someone else that's going through it too, and it's not just you, it's us.
Allow yourself and them to learn and unlearn, so we can all celebrate tomorrow, each with one hand gripped firmly on hope.
I don't know about anywhere else, but it's a very, very rainy, grim day here. We've got an exciting jam-packed session as always. Brill, I'll hand over to the Paper Birds team to get cracking.
So I had the pleasure of having a little nib in the Google Drive earlier on this afternoon to have a little look-see at some of the self-portraits, and thank you. They are beautiful. I love that you've all taken different approaches as well. So I've put some into a slideshow that I believe the lovely Katie, my glamorous assistant, is going to share for us.
What is empathy?
The ability
Why
to
do we
put
need
your
it?
feelings aside and
is
feel
empathy?
what your friend is feeling.
I think it was inviting for an organisation to be able to take part, knowing that if there were barriers in the way, if people were not physically, legally allowed to be in the same room, that this project could still go ahead. I think that was really at the heart of it, that this project addresses isolation, loneliness, all of those feelings that all of us across the world have felt over this past 1.5 to 2 years, that this was a project that could begin to bridge that gap.
There are 9 partners because we wanted the project to be as far-reaching as possible and to capture as many different types of people from different places in the world as we possibly can. Not just in the world, even like the partners in Britain, they're from different places, different demographics. That's been the most amazing part of the project, to see how the connections can be made between the young people in totally different places. And for those creatives themselves to have that connection and see the similarities between their work, or the differences or the assumptions we make about other people based on their art and their experience, I think has made this project so rich.
Masih dengan suara ya, pertanyaannya adalah energi seperti apa yang kalian rasakan dalam tubuh kalian setelah menonton film tadi? Dimulai dari Kirana.
With COVID, everybody was so isolated, and so suddenly just to be in this space, one, very happy. Two, they were easily able to kind of get rid of those weird, awkward boundaries. And I was really surprised how quickly everyone was so honest about their feelings, about their past, you know. And this is a Javanese culture where they're, you know, they're a little, you know, they protect themselves a little bit. But wow, yeah, it was really quite amazing.
I remember the first day I came in, should I speak, should I not speak? The environment was very calm, the whole atmosphere and how it was very welcoming. Sooner rather than later, discussions started turning into friendship and whatnot, and speaking to people was incredible. Also, being in that environment and having a lot of people who share, it was very nice to be in, yeah.
Young people wanted the space to be able to sort of work out who they were in the world and how they related to other people. Actually then, when Paper Birds came along and said, oh, we're doing this project, we were like, well, great, because those are the conversations that young people are having with us at the moment. We're led to believe that the world is either this or that, and I think the School of Hope has allowed us to really explore the grey area, the nuance in between that polarised thinking.
The youth that have been a part of this program have been amazing, and it's also been really exciting to watch and witness and learn about what youth around the world are doing. I'm following you all on Instagram, and it's so exciting to see you bringing your voices to life, and I'm so happy to be a tiny little bit a part of that. Thank you.
I want to thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this. It has spawned many other projects that now I have my hand in, and now I'm far too busy for anything else. So thank you so much.
I can be quite selfish and think that whatever's going on in my life, I'm the only person going through it, or the only person that's ever been through it, and it's just not true. People are always going through exactly what we're going through, if not worse, you know what I mean? So I get great power from that as well, to know that I'm not the only one.
With creation and creativity and art, there is no right and wrong. And actually the beauty of creating artworks and being creative is that there isn't a right and wrong. You might make something and it might not be, you know, it might not be what you wanted or what you hoped. And that can be difficult, but also it's an amazing learning experience, and you can just keep creating and it will get better.
I think the School of Hope has just given me just such a hope about my future, and just like such a confidence about who I want to be, and honestly just such like a perspective on like other people's plight as well.
I think that there's a huge assumption that people sort of know what empathy is. But actually we realised very quickly that it was way more complicated than the dictionary definition or the thing that we thought it might be. So to have 2 weeks of indulging in what is this thing has been, well, it's just been really special.
I think personally and as humans we have like a very negative outlook on most things, especially with everything that's going on recently. But then the School of Hope and everybody involved in that kind of went, yeah, but then there's glimmers of light that we can look on and we can expand on, and you know, we can even stretch those out ourselves. So to young people I'd just say, you know what, if there's something that you really want to do, don't be afraid to take that first step, because every journey begins with the first step. It doesn't matter if you stand there for a little while, you've taken that initiative. You've owned your own journey and your own life when you take that first step. So yeah, young people, don't be afraid.